Yet another American opponent for Mark Kaylor, the former British and Commonwealth middleweight champion, wearing the light-coloured trunks on the left, and Tony Harrison from Oklahoma, who came over thinking he was going to box Harold Graham, the European and British middleweight champion, but Graham was pulled out after a spell in hospital, and so Mark Kaylor goes in against Tony Harrison. He thought he was going to fight another American called Lenny LaPaglia originally. But it's Kaylor versus Harrison. Kaylor 25. Harrison 27, in trouble. He's been stopped a few times, Harrison. His record on paper is not too good.
Kaylor, holding right up.
He turned pro in '82, Harrison, but he hasn't had all that many fights and he hasn't been all that successful. But they've both got a common name on their record, and that name spelled danger and trouble for both of them. The name of Buster Drayton. Mark had his worst night against Buster Drayton at Wembley. Badly beaten. And Harrison was also stopped in the last round by Drayton when they met. Tony the Tiger Harrison. Tony the Tiger written on the leg of his trunks. Mark standing for those right hands. He wants to sharpen up the defences a bit. Take too many of those.
Right out, get it out. Hold it.
Kaylor, of course, has every reason to look good tonight because there's a match brewing between him and Harold Graham.
Get him out.
Oh, he's got it. He wound up the punch and then caught him with the right hand, and Mark's in trouble. Opening round. 20 seconds to go. Well, he got caught with a few right hands earlier on. Then he wound up as though he was going to throw a bolo, and then nicked in and got Kaylor with it. So Mark is going to have to really work very much harder than this. There's the bell. Hardly heard in the excitement. Well, that was all a bit extraordinary. I got Alan Minter with me. I don't know what you thought about that, but he looked a bit exposed to the right hand early on.
He came out doing the right thing, Kaylor, Harry. He was coming out nice and casual with a nice jab, but then all of a sudden, Harrison caught him with 3 right hands on the trot. Then he'd done this funny sort of punch, a bolo punch, and hit with the same punch. Unbelievable. You can see here. He's winded his hand with the same hand, gets him right on the button. And
I think Mark thought he was messing about and then found out he wasn't.
he took it too easy. I think they've got to give him a nice slap around the face.
Clowning, you see, and then bumped over the top. But he's had that left hand drop low all through that round.
For some reason, it must be a habit. I think this time he's got to come out with his hands high and just mean business.
Not a good round for Mark Kaylor. And with a match against Harold Graham in the offing, defeat tonight would be disastrous. Round 2. Well, Mark will undoubtedly have been told to keep the left hand a bit higher.
Arms out. Hold him. Jab one.
Kaylor's last fight was in July, the big Wembley bill, the Bruno Witherspoon bill, and He got revenge that night against Tony Serda of the United States, against whom he was disqualified in an earlier fight, but he had full revenge in July against Serda. But this is altogether a rather different affair. I think he's come out taking him too easily. Yeah, well, that's the same thing again. He showed him the right and then slung it over the top, and it hit Kaylor on the top of the head. He stood for it again. One of the oldest tricks in the world.
Get your arms up. Mind your head.
Kaylor breathing very hard. He's had some sinus trouble, but he's had an operation which has apparently cleared all the trouble. But you can hear his breathing quite vividly. Kaylor putting together better punches this time. Looking a lot sharper and less careless, and he needed to be. Blood from Harrison's nose. Much better round for Kaylor.
Arms out.
Well, that was different altogether. He obviously had a bit of a talking to from Terry Lawless in between the first and the second rounds, and he came out looking a lot sharper and a lot less casual. That was better, Alan.
Yeah, it was much better, Harry. I mean, they must have given him a good talking to because he was definitely buzzing towards the end of that round. But what's still in my mind, he's still got that left hand of his hanging low, which means he's open to a right hand. I mean, hopefully Harrison can't punch that hard, but he's just that Kaylor earlier. But he must keep that right hand up and keep buzzing.
Here we are again. Some more action from the second. This time, Kaylor was more aware of what was happening. He was certainly half asleep in the first round. First one of the new season, but still, that's no excuse for being careless.
Second down, round 3.
He's definitely dangerous with that right over the top. '84 was a terrible round for a terrible year for Harrison. He had 3 rather bad defeats. Charles Campbell, Texan southpaw, outpointed him. Then he was stopped in 8 by Dwayne Thomas, who's useful enough for the USBA. That's the United States Championship, light middle. And in November '84, he was stopped by Buster Drayton. So there were 3 defeats on the trot for Tony Harrison. And what he's done since is really not all that much to write home about. But he's proving a little bit of a handful here. That's better. And suddenly Harrison is inside, holding on, nose bleeding. I think he might also have a cut somewhere near his left eye. He has his cut over the left eye, the American. And it's in a nasty place, and it's spurting blood. Round 3. So we've only been going a few minutes, but we've had plenty of action. All Kaylor at the moment. Good series of punches.
Hey! Come back. Team right.
Got quite a few marks on him now, Harrison. He looks as though he's got the beginnings of a cut underneath the right eye as well as over the left. Now that's a very, very slow walk back to the corner, Harrison. His English agent, Denny Mancini, telling him, come on, get back here. Let's get to work on that cut.
So Harrison having trouble with cuts and Kaylor moving ahead on points as we rejoin the fight in round 6.
So we're entering the second
Second
half.
half, round 6.
Harrison got a lot of grease, as you saw from the close-up. It's still visible on his face. Surprised Roland Dakin hasn't had it wiped off.
Break. Come out. Come back, both of you. Come on.
Earlier today, had a lunch in London. I had the Boxer of the Year awards, and Mark Kaylor's fight with Errol Christie earlier this year was voted the fight of the year. And Dennis Andries, our world light heavyweight champion, was voted Boxer of the Year. Congratulations to him. Both of them clearly feeling the pace. As I said earlier, it's an exhausting fight, this. And they've both felt each other's punches. So, 6th round, going's hard. 4 more to go after this.
Get him out. Put your arms up. Come on, sit down.
It's certainly among the half-dozen hardest fights Kaylor's ever had.
Hey! Come back. Come back. Come on, Mark. Come on, Mark. Your left hand, get it on, Mark. Cut the ring down. Hey! Come back. Come on, Mark. That worked, Mark. Come on.
Gumshoe will come out. I think it's Harrison's.
Hey! Come back. Come back, Mark.
It is.
Get your arms up, Harry.
Been picked up by a cameraman. And now will be passed around the ringside until it gets back to Harrison's corner. Hard, grueling rounds, every one of them. Hasn't been an easy round for either man yet. And, well, I imagine Kaylor's in front, but probably not by all that much. And there's the man, Harold Graham, the European and British middleweight champion, unbeaten as a pro. And watching this, and clearly making a few notes, because they're supposed to be meeting, Kaylor and him, at Wembley in November. That'll be another hard night for Mark Kaylor. Kaylor's had 34 pro fights, 31 wins, and those 3 defeats.
Second up, round 7.
Kaylor has this unusual record of never having had a pro fight outside of London. 35 fights, all in London. West Ham boy. Wears the West Ham colours. Former Smithfield Porter. Good left. Noticeable now that Harrison is doing less and less. Looks to me as though the arms are very tired. It's not the snap there now there was. Nice if Kaylor could do it in faster time than Drayton. Drayton stopped Harrison in the 10th and final round. Mark might just do it a bit quicker than that. Because Harrison looks to me to be getting very tired.
Come back. Hold your left arm, mate. Get up. Left arm, Kaylor.
Harrison still firing that right hand over the top when Kaylor comes in, but not often enough.
Get your arm out, both of you. Come on, let go. Left arm, Harry. Cover it up.
He's been stopped a few times, Harrison, but he's still a tough cookie. He's taking punches that, well, with other men, Mark would have been away and getting changed by now.
Arm down, both of you. Left arm.
Now he's cut underneath the left eye. Harrison, smear of blood on the cheek.
Keep your head up. Don't pull down, Harry.
Desperately tired American now trudges to the corner, probably feeling that his best chances have gone. Came very close to victory early on. And Kaylor in serious trouble, but I think, Alan, would you agree with me? I think his chance is gone.
Yeah, he looks very, very tired, Harry, but these Americans do this. I believe he is tired, but what they tend to do, they drop their hands, they sort of mope around, and all of a sudden they open up with something dynamic. Now, I don't know, I don't think Harrison's got the power now to do anything to Kaylor, but Kaylor's got to be careful at all times because these Americans are that crafty. But Kaylor's doing the right things now. In fact, his left hand's come up a little bit higher, and he's throwing more punches, and he's well into the fight. So it's a good match.
I never quite know with things like this. I mean, you said earlier it's a good warm-up, but at the same time, it must be taking a lot out of him when you've got an important fight like Graham coming up.
It's taken a lot out of him, but if he got a right mug who he knocked over in 1 round, it would do him no favours whatsoever. So this guy's tested him.
Yeah, you see, Alan's right. Suddenly, he comes to life, Harrison, and he whips a couple of sharp-looking punches over. But whether he can keep that going for 3 minutes, I don't know.
Watch your head. I'll go.
I don't suppose Kaylor's feeling exactly fresh.
lay on. Don't lay on. Get him up. Calm down.
Kaylor holding. He's done that a few times to the left and has been told about it. Mark's now determined to come inside and stay in there for some reason.
Wait! Go back.
Give yourself some room, Mark. Come on, Jeff. Yeah, Bob, come on. And again.
I think he must be taking a breather, Kaylor. He can't do much inside.
Stay close, Bob.
That's good right hand. Mark's got some blood up around the hairline, but I suspect it must be coming off the face of Harrison, unless he is cut up there. So yet another hard, grueling round. Terry Lawler's had a quick inspection up there among the hair, but I think it must have been blood that was rubbing off the cuts of the American. That was a good right hand, about 40 seconds from the end of that round. That's the one, stropped it across the chin of the man from Oklahoma. Weren't too many clean shots like that in that round. Most of it was inside mauling, but when he stood off, he got a clear shot at the chin. Mark's outstanding recent fight was the one that won him and Christie the award today as the fight of the year, the fight with Errol Christie. An 8-round KO for Mark. Actually, it was in November last year. I was thinking it was this year, but it was November last year, but it comes within the year for the awards. And Harrison, long journey, looks like defeat at the end of it.
Take time.
And this time, Roland Dakin requires some grease removed from above the eye. 2 rounds left. Two good body punches there from Harrison. He's still alive and kicking. That's the right turn. Good right again. A lot of rubbing of heads there. I think the pair of them now are really very tired indeed, which is why we're getting so much of this. Kaylor must be well ahead by now and needs really to be careful now. He can settle for a points win. The important thing is not to get careless. Those 2 punches, a right and a left from Kaylor, forced Harrison inside to hang on. His gum shield is out again. Fallen down over the timekeeper. And there's a crack of heads, and they're both nearly over the rope. And Harrison is badly hurt by that crack of heads. He's still squinting and blinking and complaining. Absolutely stunned by a crack of heads. And now Roland Dakin is sending him away to his corner. And the man doesn't want to go, but it's all over. That's a very unfortunate ending after a really good fight between those two. He was stunned by a crack of heads. And so, Kaylor is the winner in the 9th round, faster than Buster Drayton beat Harrison, but a surprise ending and a very unhappy ending in many ways. Here we are again. Let's see if we can spot what happened here. He suddenly recoiled, and I'm sure it was a crack of heads. Well, maybe it wasn't. Yes, it was. It was that. It was the follow-through after the punch. And he came back from that absolutely blinking and complaining in anguish. Once more, there is a punch thrown, but I'm convinced it's what came after that punch that caused the trouble. He ran on into Kaylor's head, and it wasn't anything deliberate on Mark's part. He just ran on into Kaylor's head. So 9th round,
Ladies and
all
gentlemen,
over.
in 2 minutes, 10 seconds of round 9, Harrison was unable to defend himself. The winner, Kaylor.
Mark Kaylor's 32nd professional win in 35 pro
And the
fights.
loser, please.